I tell Auntie Donna this story about being on the SkyTrain. And Auntie Donna's First Nations Coast Salish up here in Vancouver area in Squamish. And she turns and says to me, just nonchalantly about a month or so later, she says, you know, she says, Dwendy, when do you think you're going on the bird dance? And I'm thinking, oh my God, and people not leave me alone? And I thought, I know it. I just looked at her, I said, I don't know, I'm the end of 93. So everything gets quiet. It's about 1990, 1991, somewhere in there. 91. I've been out of work for a while. I'm at my parents' place, and I've been up and down, of course, the mountain. And I'm sitting there, and I go over to visit a friend, creeping up to the end of 93. A couple of years later, everything's been pretty quiet, going along fine. I finally get a job, money's coming in. I go to a friend's place, and then suddenly we go on this this journey together, the three of us, in the dream. And we go to the Mississippi, where there are 14 guys who start talking to us. And when we get back, 14 native people, by the way, 14 medicine men. And when we get back, she turns to me and she says, they want to know why you haven't kept your promise. I said, well, I keep all my promises. I don't understand. So I phone up Auntie Donna. I say, listen, these 14 medicine men from the Mississippi want to know why I haven't kept my promise. I don't know what they're talking about. She said, well, the one promise you haven't kept. I said, what's that? What do you think? I said, I have no idea. She said, what about the bird? I went, oh, well, the bird again, the bird again, the bird again, driving me crazy. So I decide that Christmas, I've got some time off, about 2 weeks from the school board where I'm working at with special needs kids, that I'll just go down to Sedona or to the Hopi Reservation and I'll dance. And I turn to Auntie Donna and I say, well, should I tell them I'm coming? Or she said, no, they know you're coming. So then I start building this bird. I've never built any big costumes in my life, even though I have a theater degree, like I was telling you. So I just lay everything down, and I know that the back part has to be heavy, and the front part has to be light, so I sewing it like together, and then I'm putting the wings out and everything. And my father's looking at me. I'm at my father and mother's place, and he says, you know, have you got a map, or have you got a design? How do you know how to build it? I said, well, I just know, Dad. He said, how? I said, I don't know. I just know. Because I put sticks into the wings so I could get to make a 10-foot extension. And then I put 150 white feathers across the back of this bird. And then I contacted somebody, and I talked to this native friend of a friend, First Nation friend, and he was going to make me a mask, so I was going to go visit him. And just as I'm putting on my shoes, my mother turns to me and says, John, what are you doing, dear? And I said, well, you know, I'm going to go to this guy who's going to make me a mask. She said, you know, I see you making a mask of your own. And you know, my mother, even though she doesn't care to admit she's clairvoyant, is very clairvoyant. And I've ignored her for about 2 or 3 times before this. I just took off my shoes this time and put them aside and went downstairs. And he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to make my own mask. And so I did. I built the bird. And then, as I was going out the door and headed towards Hopi Reservation, I was going to take the train because I couldn't afford the plane. And as I was going out the door, my mother turns to me and says, John, dear, and you know, she turns to me and says, John, dear, you know, I know you think that all you're going to do is go to the Hopi Reservation, the Hopi Mesa, and you're just going to go to the motel and sit there for 5 days. But you know, John, I see you dancing on Red Rock. Pardon me, Mom? John, I'm sorry, but I see you dancing on Red Rock. And it was like her voice came through like the universe, you know. I see you dancing on Red Rock. And I'm going, oh my gosh. I said, Mom, come on. She said, I know, I'm sorry, dear, but dancing they will come. I said, pardon me? Dancing they will come.